Hello, welcome to Endemic Times. My name is Amira. This video is looking at the children of Palestine, specifically the children in Gaza. Save the Children recently provided a report looking at the last 15 years of the blockade in Gaza and how that is affecting the children of Gaza. This is something that is definitely not discussed in mainstream media because it would hit on too many hot point issues, and it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people. I'm going to just provide the facts from this Save the Children article that conducted this study and looked at how these children are being affected by the blockade. The research found the mental well-being of children, young people, and caregivers has dramatically deteriorated since a similar study in 2018, with the number of children reporting emotional distress increasing to 80% from 55%. Huge increase in children who reported feeling fearful, 84% compared to 50% in 2018. Nervous, 80% compared to 55%. Sad or depressed, 77%, and grieving, 78%. It also found that more than half of Gaza's children have contemplated suicide, and 3 out of 5 are self-harming. In the past 15 years, children in the Gaza Strip have endured 6 major moments, 5 escalations in violence, and the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as a life-limiting land, air, and sea blockade imposed by the government of Israel. Children make up 47% of Gaza's population of 2 million, with over 800,000 having never known life without the blockade. Economic deprivation and lack of access to essential services such as healthcare, the blockade has sparked a mental health crisis for children and young people. Caregivers described concerning behavior in children and young people, with 79% reporting an increase in bedwetting over the past few years, and 78% reporting that their children rarely completed tasks. About 59% said that there had been an increase in children experiencing difficulties in speech, language, and communication, including temporary reactive mutism, which is a symptom of trauma or abuse. All these behaviors have a huge immediate and long-term impact on the development, learning, and social interaction of children. Save the Children consulted 488 children and 168 parents and caregivers in the Gaza Strip. And caregivers are also experiencing higher levels of emotional distress, according to the report, with 96% reporting feeling unhappy and constantly anxious. Amira, 14, told us how her life would change if the blockade was removed today, telling us that she would feel more connected to the world. I can do whatever I want and go to wherever I want. I would study computer science and specifically get a degree in virtual reality design. This is what I really want to do in my life, but I can't do it here in Gaza. We don't have such a program. Save the Children is calling for the government of Israel to take immediate steps to lift the blockade of the Gaza Strip within the framework of the UN Security Council Resolution 1860 in 2009. The international community should urgently call for Israel to take these steps, along with bringing an end to the ongoing occupation, and work with all parties to create conditions for renewed talks between the parties to the conflict towards creating a just solution. So because Israel is the occupying power, it is responsible for ensuring the welfare of the Palestinian civilian population and has the primary duty to provide for basic needs. And according to the UN's High Commissioner for Human Rights, this blockade breaches these rights, particularly to freedom of movement and the enjoyment of their rights to an adequate standard of living, health, education, work, and family life. This data here shows that almost half of the Palestinian society are children. The estimated number of children under 18 is expected to be 2.35 million in Palestine by mid-2022, with 1.20 million males and 1.15 million females. Children in Palestine represent 43.9% of the total population. There are 41.7% in the West Bank and 47.3% in the Gaza Strip. Data of the Palestinian Prisoners Society indicated that the number of Palestinian prisoners and detainees in the Israeli occupation prisons reached about 4,400 prisoners until the end of February 2022, including 160 children, representing 3.6% of the total number of prisoners. As they are still in detention, they are deprived of their childhood, including continuing their studies in addition to being subjected to violations during arrest, which violates the regulations and conducts of the international law and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. So sadly, we see the very serious effects that this blockade in Gaza is having on the children of Gaza. The international community recently has had a lot of outrage and crying out to Israel to change tactics because of a lot of things that have been happening in the region. This data shows just how devastating this situation is for the children and people of Palestine. And if we don't want to see continued trauma and a really serious mental health crisis in Palestine, this issue does really need to be looked at on a grand scale by the international community. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. I'll have the link to the article down below so you can take a look at it for yourself. Stay safe, take care, and remember to be kind to each other.